welcome to our Rescue Hero show. This is Parinita Senjit, author of Little Leo. Today, I have a very interesting topic for you all. This topic is close to my heart and it's regarding connecting to your pets. Our special guest today is Michael Overlie. Michael is an energy healer, Canine Partnered Energy coach, author, and dog fanatic. Recently, he has also released a book called Let Your Dog Lead. Now, before I give any more introduction, let's hear all from Mike. Mike, welcome to our Rescue Hero show. This is a place where we talk about rescue pets and the heroes like you who have changed the lives of these rescue pets with their unconditional love and care. It's lovely to have you here, Mike, today.
Well, thank you so much. I've been looking forward to this very much.
Oh, me too. Absolutely. You know, it's fascinating the kind of work that you have been doing with regards to pets. It's amazing. And, I read your book. Here it is. Let Your Dog Lead. It's a beautiful book. And it's amazing how our canine partners can help us and guide us in so many ways, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think they're constantly trying to teach us lessons and show us things that we can't see for ourselves.
That's true. That's absolutely true, because I think our vision is restricted and they are the one who show us beyond what is visible.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about your book, Mike.
So the book came from a place where I was trying to do a lot of healing. My older brother passed away about 5 years ago. And out of that experience and my ability to actually allow myself to grieve, it opened up all of these things for me. And what I noticed about myself was that I didn't like how I was showing up in the world. I didn't like who I was. But I hadn't been able to see myself from that perspective before. You know, I usually just looking that way. We don't look in. Excuse me. And I opened up to all these amazing things. Mm-hmm. And I noticed what our animals are actually trying to give us and show us and teach us. And I hadn't really been aware of it before. It was, to me, dog for, I knew about unconditional love, but it became so much more than that. I didn't even realize that these other things were possible. So the book came from this place of wanting others to find a way to experience something similar, not exactly the same. Nobody has the same experience, but knowing that you can show up differently in the world and be happy. And in that, you can be exceptional.
I understand that your book is about helping men find their way back home, with the help of their pets. So how would you correlate this with for women and children?
Well, the same would apply to women and children. Women are more open to the fact that they can do something different. I think they're more willing to change and try something.
True.
Men are a little more firm in their resolve that they don't need change. I'm happy, dang it, I'm happy. It doesn't, we don't want to admit that there's anything that needs to be changed, because for us that equals severe discomfort in that we can't do everything, because we're kind of raised that we have to take care of everything.
True.
And that creates a lot of problems. But for women and children, there's already a better access to ourselves. Kids are fantastic when we're younger, we haven't had all these things placed upon us, others' expectations or whatever, and we can just be and just notice.
Absolutely.
You know, we're freer. We don't have all this stuff, all this baggage.
Very true.
Yeah. So women and kids already have a leg up on most
I
of
think
us
that's
guys
the
out there.
reason. You're absolutely right. I think that's the reason pets connect to children very fast, isn't it? I mean, there's so much of easy flow of energy, I would say, between them, right?
You're exactly right. So kids and animals run their energy at a higher vibration. They run their energy similarly.
Right.
I mean, it's fantastic. You know, as adults, we start to get bogged down and our energy frequency drops, but we don't notice it. Most of us don't even realize that it's happening.
That's
And we get
true.
to a place in our lives and we wonder why, oh, I've done all these things. Why, how come I'm not happy?
So tell me one thing. Did you always have rescue dogs, growing up?
In a sense, I guess so. My very first dog, was just a puppy and got hit. I was really young. I don't even remember. I got run over by a car.
Okay.
But the first dog I remember we got when I was about 5, and his name was Sage. And he had been with somebody else, but they couldn't take care of him. So then he came to live with us. So I guess in effect that makes him a rescue, right?
Yeah.
And he was fantastic. That dog was amazing.
Oh.
The next 2 dogs I had after that were both adopted rescues. And then the dog after that, Darby, who was my greatest teacher. He was my most amazing teacher ever. He passed away this last May.
Oh.
He came from a dogfighting ring situation and was just the most sweetest, loving, present animal I'd ever met.
How beautiful.
And then now I have a new dog in my life. Her name is Indigo, and I got her from our rescue organization.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing. So tell me the kind of bond you shared with Darby.
The bond I had with Darby was, in my description, more akin to that of a brother. It's difficult to explain, but I just knew there was something amazing. I saw a picture of him. It was like 2 a.m. I was looking through, was looking through the shelter pages and doing these things, and there was a link to an article. And so I clicked on the link to this article and saw a picture of him, and I said, "There's my dog." It was immediate.
Oh.
Immediate. So I emailed the people. They emailed me right. Somebody else was up really early in the morning, emailed me right back. They brought him over the next day, and that was it. We were together ever since.
That must
bond,
have been beautiful, isn't it, seeing him?
Yeah. So the reason I guess that bond for me was more like a brother, because that's how I felt about my brother. I was so tightly bonded with my older brother, and it was just easy. It was natural. It flowed. I mean, sure, we were brothers. We had our things, but I just always knew no matter what, he was there. So that was amazing.
So you have mentioned on page 37, everything is energy and energy is everything. It's a beautiful line. Could you explain that to our audience? What does that mean?
Absolutely. So for the adults, we're probably somewhat aware of physics or quantum physics and how it can tell us that every little thing is made up of energy or energetic bonds. Like if you looked under a very powerful microscope, you would see that there's just space around all these things.
True.
So it's energy that holds everything together. Now take that into all your relationships or anything you experience throughout the day. You see something that you maybe don't agree with or don't like, and you feel something. That's energy. You see
Very true.
something that makes you smile or just brings you pleasure.
Yeah.
That feeling is energy.
It's that feeling, right? I mean, it's hard, as you said before, it's hard to put it in words or, have it in, give it some sort of a shape or form, but it's the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our emotions, thoughts, those are all forms of energy.
True.
So every little thing is actually energy.
Energy.
And it's now been scientifically proven. But I don't need a microscope, right, to understand that now. I can feel and sense things that I even had no understanding that there was a capacity for.
No, you're absolutely right. I think even though it's been proven, yet sometimes we struggle to believe in that. Connecting to that energy means heightening your sense of awareness, I would say. Am I right?
Yeah, well, or it can go the other way. So maybe being able to heighten your awareness allows you to sense the energy differently.
Ah, that's a beautiful
So,
thing.
well, I think it can go both ways. So, there's someone that I follow very closely who's a master teacher of presence. And for some people, they need to become extremely still.
That's right. Yeah.
To be present. But there are also things that we can physically do that creates an intense focus on presence. So think about people who do like extreme sports, right? Super athletes, people who are skydivers, people who are doing these things that are inherently, I don't know, a little dangerous. They have to be so present to be aware of what's going on in every single moment of the activity that they're performing. If not, some of them will die.
Yeah.
Right. So that ability to be doing something that increases the awareness and brings you into this perfectly centered place just for that moment, right? It doesn't mean an hour later you're not going to be but yeah, so there's never just one approach to anything, I guess is my point.
Yeah, no, you're right. And so how did Darby help you to connect with that energy that we're talking about, that stillness, or did you experience anything or any instance where you felt like Darby's trying to tell you something?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he had so many lessons for me. The first thing that I palpably felt was right after I'd had this incredible experience after my brother died. The universe just tore me open, and I was bawling and writhing around in pain. I didn't know what was going on. And after I finally calmed down, he crawled up on my chest and just started sharing his energy with me. It was the most amazing thing ever. Other times he'd be trying to tell me that I need to maybe take a break from what I'm doing. So he was so smart. He'd go stand at the back door. We have a sliding door that opens to the outside here. Now, there's a big farm behind me and then foothills. It's just beautiful. And he'd stand there and I go, oh, he needs to go out, he needs to go to the bathroom. So I'd open the door and he'd just stand there. And he'd look at me. And one time I went, oh, I need to go outside and play.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And as soon as I stepped outside, there he went. And we went out and played. And then everything else disappeared because I was able to just be present and enjoying my time with him.
So what was your favorite game with him or activity with him?
Let's say fetch. He would love to retrieve a ball or a stick and then come running back to me. And at the last second, he would dive around me and turn it into a game of chase.
Oh, I think the same thing is with Leo. Leo just loves fetch. You just throw the ball and he waits there. And if you're not paying attention, and he will keep nudging you, come on, throw the ball, let me go, pick it up, sort of.
Yeah.
So our audience would love to know your journey towards your purpose. I know that you've been doing quite a lot of things, so it would be lovely to hear from you.
Well, man, this is fascinating. So my particular journey is not exactly like anybody else's particular journey. And there's no formula that I follow to understand what I understand and be able to open myself up to all these possibilities. All of the things that I went through in my life, the experiences, the wanting to help others, the wanting to rescue, right? Whether it was the dogs or
Yep.
let's say my previous marriage, it was this wanting to give something to someone else that I wasn't able to give to myself. So, but I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it at the time. Now I understand that I was craving something so deep that I wasn't able to give myself, but I wanted to give it to others. And I thought
That's
somewhere down
beautiful.
deep that would help me.
Yeah. I think in the process of helping others, most of the time we heal ourselves also in that journey,
Mhm.
isn't it? Oh, that's a
We
beautiful.
can.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people get lost in that though.
Yeah.
There's a lot around our self-worth. I think underneath all of our issues or worries is a feeling of not being enough,
Yeah.
right? We don't feel that we're enough. And unfortunately, we get that message from other people our whole life, and it could be just as innocent as, oh, you need to do it this way. And if
Oh,
we
this is
think that
hard.
person
Keep going.
has,
This is hard. Keep going.
it is.
Yeah.
If we think that person knows better than we do, we're going to listen to them. So every time that happens, we kind of get further and further away from trusting ourselves and knowing that we're okay with what we do.
Yeah. Now you're absolutely right. I think, and as we keep doing that, we we kind of forget to listen to ourselves. Our voice becomes, very faint in our mind, isn't it? We are just not able to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I like to use the analogy of having a veil placed in
Yeah.
front of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's a hard thing, it's a wall, but it's something that starts to obscure our view a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, maybe our mom tells us this, and then our dad tells us this, and then our teacher tells us this, and then our
Layers.
coach tells us that. So exactly,
Yeah.
these veils become this thick tapestry that we just can't see through. So and we do our work and we start to pull one out of the way and then another out of the way. And soon our vision starts to clear again.
It is understandable that in these 2 years, people have gone through tough times, right? People have lost their jobs, people have lost their loved ones, they have shifted home, depression, isolation, right? Loneliness.
Yeah.
It has not been easy. Now, during this time, many of them thought of getting a pet, as a great addition to the family. However, some of them realized that it's not working, and due to which the number of abandonment of pets has just gone very, very high. Now, in your opinion, right, how can we avoid this situation going forward?
I think people see pets as a toy, something that they can buy that brings them temporary pleasure.
Yeah.
Now, if the toy doesn't perform as advertised, then they want to return it like it's a bad purchase. These animals are sentient beings and they have personalities. So any relationship is exactly the same, whether you can have a direct conversation, two people, or a dog and a human.
Right.
It's still a relationship. And it might take a while to get some things figured out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you wouldn't just return sell your kid because you're like, fed up with their
Exactly.
behavior recently.
Absolutely. That's it.
So, but we do that with pets, right? And not blaming and not shaming,
Yeah.
but that's where some people are, and
Yeah.
I get that. That's okay. But maybe be open to thinking about, if I'm going to bring this animal into my house, that's like adopting a child,
Yeah.
right? I'm bringing in or a family member has to move in because they lost their job in their house. So that's a relationship, and people have to work things out.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. In fact, today itself, I saw one post on Nextdoor where a person had posted that she already had one older dog and she got two puppies. Out of that, one was a rescue puppy. Now, because she has two little puppies, and obviously puppies do have, the energy level is high, right? She said, because I have those two puppies, I have to give away my older dog, who is extremely friendly, who's good with children and everything. And it was so heartaking because, it doesn't make any sense that the person has not thought through this. And now the giving away the older dog, because the older dog, he's going to struggle. He's going to struggle to settle down anywhere, ever. The trust is going to be lost, right? It's going to impact him mentally. And I just felt it's so important to think through. Sometimes circumstances don't allow us to, which is fine.
Yeah.
But there are so many places, so many times that we can actually work around it, isn't it?
It seems to me that she likes the puppy energy very much, right? So that higher level vibration is important to her to make her feel better.
Yeah.
The older dog is just looking to, just wants to be calm, enjoy
Yeah.
their last years.
Yeah.
And she can't see that.
Yeah.
All she can see is, oh, there's all this fun and excitement with these new puppies. So I think dogs are a lot more resilient than a lot of people, and that dog will find a place where he can be comfortable and live out his last day.
As much as people are looking for a purposeful life right now, how do you think dogs can help them with that? Their pets can help them with that.
In the most simplest of terms, if you can spend time with your dog and just be with them, maybe it's sitting outside in the grass with your eyes closed and your face turned up to the sun, creating those moments where you can just be present allows you access to a better part of yourself, something that we didn't lose, we just forgot about. And from that place, you start to remember things that are inherently important, not the outside world important, not the new car or the house or the new shoes or whatever, but the things inside that are inherently important. But it's tough to access that if you can't slow down and stop all of this stuff out here. So our animals, being masters of presence, can help us bring it back to that place. Or if it's playing a game, playing fetch, playing tug of war, throwing the ball, the frisbee, those moments, you're not worrying about all these other things.
True. I think it works
yeah.
both ways, right? It heals you and it helps your pet as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not a one-way thing. That's an excellent point. Again, a lot of people, they rescue an animal because they feel sorry for the animal. But there's something there, right? There's something inside them that needs to do that.
Yeah.
So right away, there's a relationship around whatever that reason is. So there's something there for us to look at. But in our seeking pleasure and comfort and distraction, we need to remember that we're bringing this other sentient being into our home. Sit inside near a window or an open door and sit on the floor with your dog or your cat. and just stare outside. Put your hand on your animal's chest and just feel their breathing.
Oh,
And you might start to feel some energy. You might actually feel something in your hand. You're like, oh my gosh, we're actually sharing something different. But don't think about it. Just realize and just be in that moment. You can do this while you're on a walk with your dog. Pay really particular attention to all the things they're sniffing. You don't have to get on your hands and knees and sniff it too.
Absolutely.
But they're, wow, they're really, there's something good down there. I wonder what that is. Just be curious. What are all the things your animals are trying to show you? Spend some time there.
Absolutely. And I think only when you get into that quiet zone with them, you'll be able to see that. I think to live an purposeful and intentional life, you need to have that inner power and wisdom. And I think our pets can, connect us with that. They can be more than just pets, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Anybody is a teacher for you if you look at it from the right perspective, or not the right, maybe an open perspective.
Yeah.
You can learn something from anybody you come in contact with. Animals have an interestingly deeper access to us because we don't mind being goofy with them. We don't mind being vulnerable around them.
Yeah.
We can share ourselves in ways that sometimes we can't with other people in our lives.
So beautifully said. That's so true. Yeah, I think there's so much more that there's so many ways actually you can connect with your pet, right? And that's why they can be your mentor, they can be your guide, and they can be your teacher, whatever you call, they can be your companion. That's so beautifully said, Mike. Well, thank you, Mike, so much for coming for this show and sharing your journey with us. I truly appreciate it. And I'm going to be sharing all your wonderful tips and your links with our audience. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. I'm honored.
So beautifully explained by Mike. Indeed, energy work is a subtle art. And as Mike rightly said, it goes both ways. Connecting to that energy can heighten your awareness, or by heightening that awareness, you can connect to that energy. This helps to look at the situation surrounding people with a different perspective and understanding beyond what is visible or logical. And to do this, how our canine partners can help us and guide us. Thank you all for joining today, and until next time.